Welcome back, you guys. It's Amy Gretchen. In this Project Life Process video, I'm going to be working on week 45 from 2017. Kind of crazy to think that there's only really just a handful of weeks left before the end of this year. So I'm just laying out my photos that I printed off, and I printed those off using an Epson PictureMate for PM400, I believe it's called. It will be linked below. It's a great printer, and it actually does a very good job at printing just beautiful photos. I've really been pleased with them. In fact, I even sometimes like them more than photos that I get printed from actual printers, but it does cost more, and so that is definitely the downside. I would say it probably costs maybe double what you could find getting just printed at a lab. So you definitely have to keep that in mind. But I like having the ease of being able to print at home. It helps me to stay up to date with my project life. So that's another reason why I find that it's worth it for me. All right, so this card that I'm working on right now, this is actually a Post-it note that my daughter, that's her handwriting. And I was going to take a picture of it, but I decided that I thought it would be really cool to actually, use that Post-it note and have her handwriting there. So I just made that into a card. I love that Post-it note's a 3x3. I thought I was going to have to cut it down for some reason. So it works out perfectly and is allowing me some space to do a little bit of journaling. So just the backstory to that, if you're interested, her phone dropped in the pool, her iPhone dropped in the pool over the summer, and I wasn't going to buy her another one. So she's been using a free Samsung that came with our plan. And she just was very determined to buy herself her own phone. So she's been was earning money for that. And so that was something that she finally was able to get this week. She was very excited to get that. So you can see her in the bottom with all of her cash. Anyway, so that was really cool to see. I loved seeing how determined she was, and I thought that that would be a great story to tell this week. You can see that I pulled over my my story journal. So if you've never seen my story journal, I have a separate video that talks all about it. I will link it below. You can also see it in the top corner if you want to go and watch that. It's just something that helps me to spark my mind, even though most of the time I'm working on these layouts the week later. And so you think, oh, you can remember everything that happened, but there's little details, bits and things that happened that I write down that I don't know that I would remember. So that's one of the reasons why I do that story, or have that journal. But if you're interested, go ahead and check out that video. So right now I'm working on another journaling card, and this one is some really exciting news for me. And in fact, it's supposed to be on last week's page, but for whatever reason, I held off because I was thinking it hadn't been made public yet. But really, this video is not going to go live until well after it's made public. So I totally could have done it, but I'm doing it on the week after, which is totally fine. I mean, that's not a big deal. It's definitely within the time frame. But this story is all about how I'm going to be on Allie Edwards' creative team in 2018. So I'm really excited for this opportunity to be able to use her products and share it with all of you. So definitely look forward to that in 2018. I know I definitely am. I am such a fan of Allie, her work, and the products that she puts out in the world that really help us to tell our stories. All right, you guys, so let's jump back into this spread. Thank you for allowing me that indulgence there. So I'm going to be doing all of my journaling in one shot. So you'll see sometimes I'll do like one card here and another card there, but I'm just doing them all at the same time. So this card right here actually came from Allie Edwards' Best Kit, and I had set it aside to use it this week because I knew that I'd probably want to use it. That card says fingers crossed. And it was all about my, going to see a specialist with my daughter's hand, because at first we had her hand x-rayed and there was no break, but it was not healing. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I think it's broken. And it turns out that it was, but it has been healing. So that's really good news. So I thought that that would be a great card for that. So you can see that I'm working on this card, just doing the journaling for the Ali Edwards. One thing that I wanted to point out with that card specifically is I just had too much to say, and I should have typed it, but because I didn't want to take more time, I just decided to write it out. And knowing ahead of time I probably wouldn't have enough space, instead of stopping and just, stopping wherever my journaling was and kind of wrapping it up, I decided to do a little arrow at the end and just keep writing on the back. So I just want to, that's an idea for you guys, that if you have longer journaling and you don't want to do maybe like a flip up card or something like that, it's okay to write on the back, because you know what, in the future when I'm going through this spread and looking at it, I can see that the arrow's there. I can see that the journaling's not finished, and I can just pull the card out and read it and put the card back in. So it's as simple as that. So don't feel like maybe there's some journaling that you'd like to keep hidden or something like that. So I don't know, just keep that in mind, that those are options as well. All right, so you can see that I'm looking through my chipboard. So I was actually, when I was looking at this, I do have one more card. You can see that I'm working on that card right now. But I was like, I just want to keep this layout simple. This doesn't have to be more complicated than it needs to be. I was thinking of maybe adding some stamps onto the photos, or even some letter stickers. But, I was like, let's just keep this simple and let's just get it done. And so I always go to my chipboard when I want to do that. But when I was looking through it, I saw this one that says around here. This came from Ali Edwards. I think it was from her summer set that she did over the summer. And I thought, you know what, I can do an around here card. And I remembered the detail stamp had some numbers on it. And of course, when I saw the detail stamp, I thought, oh, the details would be good. And so I kind of put them together. Now, the only thing that I don't love about that combination is that it's both Ali's handwriting. I wish one of them was like a type font or something like that, just for variation. It's not that big of a deal. At the end, I decided just to put it down and leave it and not worry about it. But if there had been a around here chipboard that was in type, I definitely would have chosen that instead. All right, so you can see that I just did a little bit of journaling. I told 3 little stories from the week. I really enjoy having cards like this, because you can get a little bit more told from the week, and it doesn't have to be a long drawn out story. It can just be a sentence or two. You can see that the stamp set that I used there was Ali Edwards Details Story Stamp, and that stamp set is actually no longer available to purchase, but she does have it digitally available in her shop, and I will have that linked below if you are interested in it. That Details kit was definitely one of my favorites from the year, so if she does have a sale coming up and she has any more of those products available, that's the one to get. I really enjoyed that kit. It was great for Project Life. So you can see that I'm just now moving things around. So you know that I do this all the time, but I don't love having so much of the handwriting together, so many of the journaling cards. So I was looking at trying to move some of those apart. That's why I'm doing a little bit of switching around, and you'll see that I continue to do that. One of the things that I wanted to mention before I am finished here is the title card. You saw that I just added the dates to it, but in the picture, it doesn't actually look like that. So there's some more embellishments. And the reason was because when I took this spread to actually photograph, I did not love the card. It's not my favorite. I'll admit it's not my favorite, but I'm not going to go back and change it. But what I decided to do was add some embellishments. So in order to do that, I had to restamp it. So I just restamped it on a piece of cardstock, cut it out, and then I just added those X embellishments that you'll see in the photo. So I don't love the card still, but it helps me like it a little bit more. All right, you guys, so that is it for this week. Hopefully you're able to get some inspiration from it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to get notifications for when I add new videos to my channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button and then turn on notifications. All right, you guys, we will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.